Why are some Toronto area home prices dropping so quickly? That's what I'm going to be chatting about today. My name is John Pasalis, president at Realosophy Realty. Catch all my latest writings on Toronto's housing market at movesmartly.com. And if you find the video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest videos. So when we look at the statistics for Toronto area housing market, low-rise home sales, and that's sort of detached, semi-detached townhomes, are down 9% or about $150,000 since February. Now, typically when we look at changes in home prices, we usually compare year over year, but in a slowing market, that can be misleading because house prices could be up year over year for another 6 or 9 months, even while home prices are actually declining on the ground. And typically the most important thing is, when we look at, we don't compare month over month usually because of seasonal differences, but between February and April, we don't typically see home prices softening. If anything, they're flat or increasing slightly. So to see home prices decline 9% literally in 2 months, $150,000 is quite significant. So why the heck is that happening? I mean, when we look at how home prices usually decline, it's usually slow. And I'm going to kind of look at this quote from economist Paul Krugman, from or Nobel Prize winner, writes for New York Times, who wrote, "This is the way the bubble ends. Not with the pop, but with the hiss. Housing prices move much more slowly than stock prices. There are no Black Mondays when prices fall 23% in a day. In fact, prices often keep rising for a while, even after a housing boom goes bust." So this is typically how home prices slow down. It's usually slow, and the economists call it sticky on the way down. So if home prices are usually sticky on the way down, how the heck are they falling so rapidly in the GTA, and why are they falling so rapidly? Well, this is a function of how people buy and sell homes in the Toronto area. The most common approach people take is they usually buy a home first and then sell their current home, because usually the market's hot, it's usually hard to buy, and it's usually pretty easy to sell. And that's typically what people do. And that strategy works great until you find yourself in a rapidly slowing market. Because once you find yourself in a rapidly slowing market, you find yourself a little bit more pressured to sell, right? And that's exactly what a lot of home sellers are experiencing right now. And when we think about the decline, this rapid decline, it's very hard to say exactly what's going on. I mean, in some cases, maybe the sellers did not give themselves much time to sell their home. Like maybe they bought a home with only a 6-week closing, which means they only have a few, by the time they prep their home listed, they only have a few weeks to sell. So they truly are desperate. Maybe they're expecting the home to sell in a week with 20 offers, and then all of a sudden they listed and they only have 10. They could be freaking out. But part of this also, I think, could very well be panicked and anxious real estate agents. I mean, a lot of agents in Toronto don't sell a lot of homes. Any agents who's been in the market less than 5 years only knows a market where there are bidding wars and prices going up rapidly. They don't really know a market that is slow or that is turning and is adjusting very quickly. So it's very possible. And I mean, we see this, my agents have seen this on kind of discussion boards with where real estate agents post questions. A lot of agents anxious because they're not getting showings. They don't know what to do. Their clients bought. And in some cases, you could have agents who are persuading their clients to kind of take an offer that's maybe way below what they're expecting, because they themselves are overly anxious about the market. And I think all of these are dynamics that are impacting sellers' motivations right now and behaviors. But at the end of the day, the agent's job is to at least try to bring some clarity to this process. I mean, not to panic their clients. If a seller has another 4 to 6 weeks to sell their home, you should not be panic selling your home in your first 7 days for $100,000 less than what you're worth. You need to understand your local market well. I said in a past video, like I think a lot of our clients who needed to sell, a lot of the offers the first offers they got were way below what we expecting or our clients were expecting. So we just rejected them and we're patient and sat on the market and eventually got a better price. So, these are the challenges right now. And I think we're going to start to continue to see this pressure on prices For the next month or so, as all of these people who bought homes and need to sell kind of clear their homes out of the market. As we move into the summer months and into the fall, we might see fewer people buying first and then selling because of these dynamics. So we might see a little bit less pressure. And when we think about why the condo market is performing a little bit better in terms of prices, prices aren't falling as much in condominium market because a lot of the owners of them are investors. And right now, the investors don't need to sell the same way someone who bought a home and needs to sell their current home in order to afford their next home. The investors, at least right now, are a little bit more patient and sitting on the market and not sort of panic selling their condominiums. Even though they've seen very similar changes and declines in sales and increase in inventory, they're a little bit more patient, at least for now. So I think some of these dynamics might change as we move into the fall market, but right now, this is the pressure we're seeing on the ground for a lot of home sellers that has caused prices to fall pretty rapidly over the past couple months. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please post them below or send me an email at askjohn@movesmartly.com.